Hello and welcome back to Pop Culture Reacts as we are working our way through the Filthy 15. And
Filthy,
we're a
dirty.
penultimate piece of filth.
We're almost out of being dirty.
I know. This one is brought because of profane and sexually explicit lyrics. We
Funny
have
enough, the list I was looking at, I saw the name of the band, I saw the name of the song, and I went to the right, which tells me lyrical content, and I looked at the wrong one, and it said occult, and I thought, wow, I wasn't expecting that out of this song, but yeah, I was reading the wrong one.
Calm Thee Self, that's later.
Yep.
So this is the Mary Jane Girls with In My House. Um,
Where are we at with the Mary Jane girls?
I have never heard of them.
No, new to me as well. Apparently, they were inducted into Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame in 2019. I don't know how prestigious the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame is, but certainly, I guess it means someone knew them and cared.
Yeah, someone out there has taken enough time to go. They're good at their rhythm and blues
Well, they had like
cred.
a 4 or 5 year career, according to Wikipedia. Formed in 1983 and disbanded in 1987. And they were proteges of Rick James.
Funky.
And apparently famed for their cover of "Walk Like a Man." Don't know it. But yeah, it's a newbie. It's a newbie to us, and every now and again that brings some absolute wonderful things in our ear holes, doesn't it?
Does.
Sometimes other end of the scale, but
Yeah. Though I am saying, if they're in the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame, I'm hoping for some, something
well,
bluesy.
Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame covers R&B, soul, funk, and post disco. So
So not proper R&B there, not rhythm and blues.
no, and I imagine the R&B is R&B as well. So kind of more modern, like ushery kind of R&B. So yeah, open my real wide.
So shall we get in the house?
Yep, I mean the only thing we know is this beautiful visual we are seeing on the screen of a very gaudy piece of 1980s architecture. So let's hope the song keeps that same level of class. Let's do
Let's
this.
go.
Or you can just believe I'm the only girl in your life. I'll be your sugar and
it's odd, isn't it? I see kind of the Motown label,
Yeah,
and I it makes me go back to old school Motown, and I guess Motown did move on to doing more stuff like this. But yeah, I don't know. I just always think Motown. And when I don't hear that Motown sound that I probably listen to the most,
yeah,
it does kind of throw me a little bit.
yes. So the explicit lyrics are such as, when it comes down to making love, I'll satisfy your every need and every fantasy you think up. It's not really that racy, is
I
it?
mean, no, and it's quite kind of on the nose, on the button, fine racy in my book, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
it's not. It's a line you'd see in a movie. It's a line you'd read in a book. It's not even got like a lot of hidden subtext. It is
no,
just like I'll be there for you. Come around, we'll have a good time. And yeah, there's a few distracting points for me that I will pick up from that song, and so I wasn't quite so spot on with the lyrics, but when I was. I couldn't see anything that I really was struggling to kind of go, what are they going to pick out for this one?
yeah. I said, for some of the other ones that we've had pulled up for being sexually explicit or profane, there's been a little bit more of something there. This is there with that Madonna
Yeah,
one where it's like you're reaching a bit here. Is this because of the connection to Rick James? Is it because if you look at the video,
yeah,
they're 80s version of Spice Girls. There's Soul Sister, the one that had the wedding dress on, clean and proper, the one in a bit of leather with chains, or a little bit naughty. Is that why this was getting picked up? I don't know, but yeah, I
it
don't
it,
see the filth.
it did feel a little bit like Spice Girls before their time, didn't it? And with
Yeah.
doing that, like they kind of like without like monikers or nicknames and things like that, that they were trying to have like kind of varied look, like in even in just like the outfits they were wearing. One of the things that I did wonder whether it was picked up for was the health and safety issue that I could see of how full that lady's bath was,
Yes.
and it worried me because I just thought if you move at all in that bath, you're flooding your bathroom.
Yeah.
So I want anyone who watched that video along with us to kind of go, don't ever do that. You're setting out yourself up for total hiding if you do that.
Yes. Um, and don't have a motorbike in your house by stairs.
Yeah, and like with latter day eyes on it, that the grinding against it was just a bit weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, the 80s idea of what's sexy, not so much. You know, mullet and
Yeah,
trying to dry hump a motorbike. Yeah.
yeah. I felt like it was odd. It felt like a calendar on the wall of a garage from the 80s to a
Yes.
degree with its
Yeah.
sexiness, but yeah, as I say, it's just odd, isn't it? Like the mindset that you're in so many years later. 'Cause I imagine it probably was considered quite racy and sexy at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But certainly dramatically different all these years later for me. It just felt a bit weird, and I found myself laughing for lots of it. And we will get to the song in a minute, but I'm still fixated on the video. There were some real moments of parts where the camera was lingering, let's say, and you could see that they were massively uncomfortable, and almost you could read in their eyes them going cut.
Yeah.
Cut. 'Cause I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But yeah, and an odd little video. What did you think of the song?
The song's fucking awful. Oh, it is bad. I get that Rick James clearly had something to do with this because it's got that Rick James own funkiness, or trying to be funkiness, on the
Yeah,
in the back of it. But I can hold a tune a bit, but vocals were ropey, and it's just really dull. It is just a dull. boring song that goes on for
Uh,
far too long.
as a wee spoiler, I actually well, it auto played before we started, and rarely, certainly a song where I've heard nothing. I heard the opening, I don't know, let's say 5 seconds of it, and I was dreading it. I'll be honest. But I think having that extra 5 seconds head start of dreading it, I'll be honest, it was better than I thought it was going to be. But don't take that as a stamp of quality. I did quite like some of the funky bits, and I actually didn't mind some of the vocals in between choruses. I thought when they got to choruses, that was when it got particularly grating and bad. But I felt like there was probably somewhere deep down inside something to him, but this wasn't it.
Yeah,
But quite innocuous, I guess. It wasn't like I was gonna say it wasn't offensive. Certainly wasn't offensive to my ears, as in I'd run away screaming from it. But also, it wasn't offensive in the filthy 15 context for me either.
no,
It goes into the pantheon of in an exercise where I think that it's pretty flimsy anyway. This is one of the flimsier entries for me.
yeah. It's one of those. Obviously, with some of the other ones that are a bit ropey, I can get. There's some sort of a reason for it, i.e., like Madonna, they wanted her in because of like a virgin, but they didn't want to go with the obvious
Yeah,
one. That makes sense. The couple of songs that are linked to Prince, as we all know, there is that unbiased bias from Tipper Gordon or Tipper Gore that no one can wear purple like her, and anyone that does is automatically in the bin.
I
Um,
forgot that was a narrative that we were pushing in this show. I'd forgot my own story that I'd made up. My bad.
so I sort of get the Prince ones and things linked to Prince because his purpleness was far too sexy for his time. And I sort of get, oh look, they've got long hair and playing metal, and look at what they look like for some of the metal ones. But yeah, unless it's something against Rick James or something against the fact, as I said in the videos, there's that what we would class as Spice Girlsiness of one for everyone vibe
Yeah.
of look, aren't they floozies? I don't get
Well,
it.
it got to number one when it was released, but number one on the Billboard. I want to say like dance chart, and I know in America certainly back then Billboard sort of split it down, so I don't know necessarily how big that meant it was selling. But we've touched on this for a few songs. One of the trends seems to be if you forget what they say, things are banned for. Some of the trends seems to be linked to an artist that is bigger
Yeah,
or women singing about sexuality in any way, shape, or form. And I do wonder whether that was the criteria, but because it was for women, they thought it was saucier and maybe even more. I mean, God, like
filth.
one woman singing about it is bad enough, but four women, that's almost a riot at that point, isn't it? So I wonder whether that factors into it. But yeah, flimsy again. And do you know, like I almost go, you probably, and this might count for a lot of these. You probably made more people listen to this by banning it than maybe would have got ears on it another
Yeah,
way. I mean, I don't think I'd have ever listened to it if it hadn't been for this. So
no.
yeah, I
It,
think
I
probably they've gone the wrong way with this one. I think.
Yeah, as I say, I've gone 39 years of my life out hearing it, and I was fine with that. Now I have heard it, and I can go another 39 years without hearing it again.
Yeah, certainly won't be going on any playlists of mine or anything like that. It's probably a horrible description for anything where people have put creativity into it, but it feels like an adequate song for the genre of the time.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's about it. Doesn't make me want to go and listen to more of theirs either, if I'm honest.
no.
As much as I quite like some of the funky little bits in it, I would probably go and listen to some funk music instead and get
Yeah, I'll go.
more funk for my dollar.
I'll go to Rick James or the guy from Chic.
Yeah,
Get my
yeah,
funk from there.
yeah.
But what did you lot out there think? Is this
Do you
filthy?
think it was outrageous? Was it outrageous? Did it disgust you?
Did it turn you into debauched animals in the
Rampant,
way?
sex crazed animals
Yes.
going
If
at it like
so,
rabbits.
comments down there. Let us know.
Put a comment in pre and post your debauchery. Let us know how it worked out for you. Let us know how you think it was going to go and whether it went the way you thought it was going to.
As always, do the YouTubey things of like, subscribe, ring bells, and all that jazz. And until next time,
And the
and our
final, the
final
filthy, isn't it? Blimey.
and the last piece of filth for now.
I'm not ready for the smut to stop.
It's all right, because we'll tell you after the last one what we've got planned for filth. But until then, goodbye.